Hello and welcome to my series, You Can Heal Your Life, which is inspired by the great work of Louise Hay. I go over emotional, psychological, spiritual meanings of, interpretation of certain symptoms that we can have in our body. So my name is Lisa Cerise. Welcome to my channel. I like to think of myself as your spiritual cheerleader on YouTube, where I create spiritual content that inspires and uplifts and hopefully helps you heal yourself or love yourself a little bit better. So in today's video, I'm actually going to talk about frozen shoulder. Now, in Louise Hay's book, she has just got shoulder, which I have had other shoulder stuff go on. But specifically, I wanted to talk about frozen shoulder today because that's something that I also had. I speak purely from my own experience first, and then I go into the other meanings later. When I looked up frozen shoulder, when I first got it, I mean, there were all these other actual reasons why it came about. But the psychological or emotional or whatever you call it reason just made so much sense. And I feel like I do believe we are creations of reality, and essentially we manifest stuff. And I'm not saying this is like, I don't want to make anyone feel like they're to blame for what's going on in their body, but like what is going on around us can manifest in our body, especially if we're not dealing with it or not understanding and we're not listening to ourselves. And so I pushed on through with my own body with so many things. And so when these things happened and I read these descriptions, I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. Just as a disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional. I share this as a holistic way for you to heal yourself. So just take it with an open heart and an open mind and take what resonates and leave the rest. So frozen shoulder, really, it can mean frozen tears. And in my situation, that was so relevant. Like really just holding back so much emotion. And mine was in my right side, so I'll go what the different sides mean. But mine was, that's your masculine and your doing. And I was just doing so much. Like I had the whole weight of the world on my shoulders, especially the right one, because I had to be in my masculine, you know, like having a salon, having a daughter, like being the provider of my life and everything. So it's sort of like I was having to do everything. And there was it came to a part of my life where I was like not wanting to do it anymore. And I didn't really know how to get out of that situation without getting a business partner or like, you know, getting someone to help out. And so I ended up just pushing it, like the pain, there were like niggles in my body that was sort of indicating something was going on, and I ignored it and I pushed through. And so then I developed frozen shoulder, and being quite young, it seemed a little bit the doctors or whatever were like, oh, you're really young. But, when I look at why, I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. So yeah, frozen tears, holding back, the whole world is on your shoulder, and you just feel it's like women who are very strong, very independent, very masculine, very do a lot, can find that this is a common theme that can happen, especially on the right side. So the right side is your masculine, it's your doing, it's associated to taking action, being the provider, busy and essentially you're taking the whole world on your shoulders, and you're not asking for help or being open to help, or thinking that there's help. You just think, oh, no one's going to help me. And so by saying no one's going to help me, then essentially we can create that. Well, I did in my situation. And also with the right side, like you can be a little bit maybe controlling, especially with your career, which is like owning a business. I definitely could see a little bit, that definitely being a sign there of like wanting things a certain way. You have a reputation or a standard, and you're like, it must be done this way. But then that can involve being a little bit rigid with how things are done, and not being as open to new or different ways, which was definitely a bit of a ding 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 for me. And so then the left side is more your feminine side. So this is like receiving help. If you've got something going on in your right side, then it might be that you're not able to receive. Where the left side is you're like doing too much, like giving and doing. The right side is like, are you able to receive? Are people trying to help you, but you're not able to receive? And so and you feel unworthy of support as well. And that's like feminine energy. So the mother, sister, feminine side, where the right is masculine, father, brother energy, whatever. And so also your left side is creativity and intuition. So you could be suppressing creative impulses if it's on the right side. And then you've got, if you're over nurturing everyone else, then you can have, that can be related to the left side. I forget my left and right sometimes. Yeah, so that's a little bit about each side. And the frozen shoulder, mine was definitely related to feeling like I had a massive burden and a weight on my shoulders. And so Louise Hay, she doesn't have specifically frozen shoulder, she just has the shoulders, which is essentially, I guess, the same. If you have a different opinion, I'm happy to hear your thoughts on that. But the shoulders represent our ability to carry out experiences in life joyously. And so we make life a burden by our attitude. So yeah, definitely carrying too much on your shoulders. And then some psychological meanings and emotional or spiritual meanings. So heavy burden, which is the same as her book, like carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, which is, I said before. So if people are feeling overwhelmed by excessive life duties, family stress, or relentless pressure from work, suppressed control and anger, holding back feelings of resentment, when you feel forced to do something or when others do not pull their weight, this freezes the joint in a physical shield of defense. So yeah, that's interesting there. Fear of vulnerability. The stiffness reflects a rigid attempt to guard the heart and block emotional pain, change or new life directions, which is really interesting as well, like the shoulders guarding the heart. So if you have any shoulder issues or you've had frozen shoulder, like, are you feeling you need to guard your heart, like not allowing help in, not opening the heart to help? Some spiritual meanings are blocked expression. Spiritually, the shoulders govern our capacity to reach out, embrace life, and take action. Freezing in this area indicates a soul level block where you are holding back your true expression or refusing to reach out for help. So that definitely resonated with me. Heart chakra imbalance, because the shoulder is related to the heart, and so connected closely to the heart center. Any shoulder rigidity points to unresolved grief. And that's the frozen tears as well. Like we're holding back, we can be holding back some sort of grief or sadness, and so holding that back is we're freezing ourselves really. And so lack of self-forgiveness or a closed heart that refuses to soften, which I have been there. And the need to surrender, this is quite important, I feel, because like holding the weight of the world on our shoulder is sort of is us wanting to control or like not being able to allow other help, external help, because we may have been let down in the past. People might let us down, and so it's just like, I'll just do it. I won't let myself down, at least. And so this is why surrender is so important, and trusting the process, trusting like the universe, trusting God, source energy, and really just allowing the help to come through. The more I have now allowed the help to come through or trust the process, things just work. It's hard to explain, but until you start trusting and really trusting, they just find a way. Where I just I didn't know how to trust anyone, or I had it in my head that people were going to let me down, so I'll just do it, so this forces the body to halt. Literally for me, I had to stop, like work, stop, full stop. And so you have to stop striving, slow down, and learn how to surrender control rather than forcing your way through life. Let me know if any of those resonated, if you feel like, if you've gone through this and you've come to some sort of similar conclusion, or you're like, wow, that actually makes sense for something I went through or I'm going through. I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts, and just try and like keep it as positive as possible, because I'm really sharing this because I want people to find another way, and it's not always for everyone, but that's all right. We all just focus on where we're going in life and like how we can make a difference, then that's all that matters. And so like some somatic stuff that you could do, I would believe, like breathing into the heart would be a really good one, where you're just like really breathing, doing breath work into the heart. Obviously there's lots of exercises online. I'm not going to go into those because that's not what this video is about, but some good shoulder shrugs, giving love to your shoulders, just telling yourself everything's going to be okay. I'll be getting into affirmations in a second, but really just having that self-forgiveness and really just feeling what your body needs, and finding something like yoga is really great. Yoga really just has changed my life so much. Just even the mind, meditation and mindfulness is just so beautiful. And so I'll give you a couple of affirmations as well. In Louise Hay's book, she says, I choose to allow all my experiences to be joyous and loving. So that's, I guess, when you're struggling with experiences, or you're, having a struggle and you're not experiencing what you would want at that time, or you're feeling like everything's too much, or you've got way too much on your shoulders, like really finding gratitude and speaking it into existence, like allowing myself to experience joy, which from my perspective, I would have found that hard to say going through, I think I just touched the microphone. Going through that at the time, I would have found that hard to say, because I was still processing all of this, but I'll give you another couple of affirmations which might help if you're going through like burnout. Burnout is quite a big, mine also resulted in burnout from doing too much and not actually knowing how to slow down. So if it's your left side, you can say things like, I'm worthy of receiving support, care, and love without having to earn it. It is safe for me to soften, rest, and trust my inner wisdom. And I release the need to nurture everyone at the expense of myself. If it's the right side, more your masculine, then I release the heavy burden of trying to control every outcome. It is safe to step back from doing and just allow myself to be. Like, how would it feel to be and like be a human being instead of a human doing? I release the old anger and I trust that I'm safe in my career and my life. And any just general shoulder affirmations, I lay down the weight of the world. It's not mine to carry alone. Know that you are supported. You do have the help there. It is available for you. It's really trusting the process, putting it out there, writing a list of what you need done, asking God, universe, whoever you sort of connect with, and then being open to receiving, because it doesn't always look the way we want it to look. It's not always comes from the person we want to help us. It can be from a stranger that just wanting to help you, and you want to help you with something, and you're like, oh, so it's just being open to where it comes from. I allow my body to soften, to heal, and to move at its own natural pace. So that's today's episode on frozen shoulder, or the shoulders in general. Let me know what resonated, and if you like the video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the playlist. If you're wanting to see more of these videos and you're enjoying them, then you won't miss out. And until next time, you're with Lisa Cerise, and namaste. Have a fabulous day. Bye.
Remember who you are when the screen goes dark, when the noise falls quiet.